Ladies and gentlemen, the City of Sacramento Pipe Band. Let's give it up to them, please. And please be seated. Please be seated. Thank you. I am retired Gunnery Sergeant United States Marine Corps Marvin Hernandez Garcia, and I'm really humbled to say that I'm part of the United Veterans Council, which I chair, and our event coordinator for this Veterans Day is Linda Vasquez, who you can see running around somewhere. We also have the City of Stockton today sponsoring this event as well. So today, 100 years ago in 1925, on Veterans Day, this magnificent building was actually presented to all of us here, or back to the people of Stockton back then. So it's 100 years ago that we had this. And then 107 years ago, the end of World War I became known as the Big War, or hopefully the last great war, which we ended up finding out that it wasn't. But by Congress, we got designated November 11th to be Veterans Day. And that's why we are here. Now, if you ask any veteran, or most veterans, we didn't really serve, to get a thank you for your service or anything. However, we appreciate the support of everyone that does that to us. And let's remember that we have some that never came back. And later on, Sarom is going to talk about them. We're very lucky. Stockton has a great history. And I'm going to have someone talk about it in a second about that. But here at the Civic Auditorium, our post, Car Rose Post 16, American Legion Car Rose Post 16, which I'm the commander for, actually used to have their meetings here. They had it for about 75 years or something like that, I heard. And they have sponsored all kinds of events. I heard that there were boxing matches here. There were high school graduations here. So there's a lot of history. And for veterans, we used to have Veterans Day here at this venue as well. And that is something, that we are so happy to bring it up this year here and have all of you be present. So we thank you for the bottom of our hearts. Now, if you can please rise for the posting of the colors by Discovery Challenge Academy, the invocation by R. Maldonado, U.S. Army, the national anthem by the Stockton Portsmouth Chorus, and the Pledge of Allegiance by the Girl Scouts, Heart of California.
Is that the opening prayer? Yeah. Okay. Bow our heads, please. O sovereign ruler of the universe, who art the Lord of hosts and God of peace, without thee our efforts are vain. Continue thy blessing upon us and our families. We pray thee and guide us during our deliberations. We beseech thee, O God, to bless the dependents of our departed comrades and to comfort all who gave their loved ones to our nation's cause. Bless and strengthen the sick, the needy, and the afflicted. Bless, we ask thee, the widows and children in our national home, and help us to fulfill our duty toward them. Continue thy favor upon our order, and help us to practice the spirit of true comradeship, both in our councils and with the world at large. Enable us to better the community in which we live through our devotion to duty as citizens. We now have a moment of silent prayer for our departed comrades and for those missing in action and those held as prisoners of war. These and all other necessary blessings we ask of thee, mighty ruler of the universe. Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Right hand over your heart. Ready, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In front of.
Please be seated. So every year, for the last 8 years that I can remember, we have had then Corporal, now Sergeant Frank Wright, to ring the bells of peace for us. However, he couldn't come today, so he sends his apologies as he came down with the flu. He really did. I can barely hear his voice. So we're going to improvise. I'm going to bring up retired Sergeant First Class Sarom Tio.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we observe a solemn moment of remembrance. On November 11th, 1918, the guns of World War I fell silent. The bells across town and cities rang out the signal, the end of the war and the return of peace. Today, we ring the bell in honor of all Americans who served our nation in uniform, those who returned home, and those who made the ultimate sacrifice and never returned. As the bells toll, we also remember our POWs and MIA, the warriors whose faith remain unknown. We honor their courage, their sacrifice, and the families who still wait. I invite you to bow your heads in reflection as we ring the bell. May each toll represent a life of service, a legacy of sacrifice, and a reminder that freedom is not free. Let us carry their memory with us today and always. Thank you.
Before we continue with the ceremony, I would like to acknowledge some of our dignitaries. But first, I would like to have VFW Luneta Post 52 Commander Tomas Bermudez please stand up and be recognized. Tomas? He's probably cooking in the back right now, so. Okay. Well, thank you, Tomas, if you can hear us. Do I have any other post commanders here today? Any other post commanders? All right. Representing Congressman Josh Harder, we have Carol Tubin. Representing District 13, for Assemblywoman Rhodesia Ransom, we have Jasmine Gutierrez. Representing State Senator Jerry McNerney, we have Navy veteran Gary Prost. From the San Joaquin County, we have our Board of Supervisors Chair, Paul Canepa. We also have, representing District 1, Supervisor Mario Gardia. We have our San Joaquin County District Attorney, Ron Freitas. We also have, representing the San Joaquin County, Sheriff Withrow. Thank you, Sheriff. Representing the City of Stockton, we have Mayor Cristina Fugazi. For the City Council, we got District 3 Representative Michael Blauer. Representing District 4, we got Mario Enriquez. For District 5, we have Brando Villapudua. We also have the Chief of Police, Stanley McFadden. He's in the back. And also we have Fire Chief of Stockton, Brian Carr. And if I missed anyone, it's because they were late, so we'll skip them. Reading the history of Veterans Day, we have U.S. Navy veteran Amy Hagler.
It's okay. Good morning, everyone. I know that there are a variety of things you could be doing today. Watching a parade, attending a picnic, sleeping in. So on behalf of myself and all of the other veterans here, thank you for taking the time to be with us today. What we now know today as Veterans Day began as Armistice Day, a day to celebrate and remember the signing of the treaty that signified the end of World War I, and to remember all of the brave men and women who served throughout the First World War. Although Armistice Day was signed into law in 1919, a holiday celebrating all veterans would not be instated for another 35 years. In 1945, shortly after the end of the Second World War, a Navy veteran by the name of Raymond Weeks returned to his home of Birmingham, Alabama. Upon his return home, Weeks discovered that there was no holiday to honor those who had served and sacrificed during the war. So, Weeks decided to take matters into his own hands. In 1947, Weeks founded the National Veterans Day Volunteer Organization and led the first Veterans Day Parade in Birmingham, Alabama. In 1953, in Emporia, Kansas, a shoe repairman named Alvin King had a similar idea to that of Weeks, a holiday to celebrate all veterans. Although not a veteran himself, King believed that all veterans deserved to be recognized and celebrated for their service. So he rallied his community, earning support from the Chamber of Commerce and the Board of Education, who overwhelmingly voted approving the closing of businesses and schools in observance of Veterans Day. On November 11, 1953, Veterans Day was officially celebrated for the first time in Emporia, Kansas. Shortly after, King worked with Congressman Edward H. Rees to write a bill officially recognizing Veterans Day, which President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed into law on June 1, 1954, 8.5 years after Raymond Weeks first had the idea for a holiday celebrating veterans, 9 years after the end of World War II, 35 years after the end of World War I, and 178 years after the founding of the United States. As he signed the bill into law, President Eisenhower said, "On that day, let us solemnly remember the sacrifices of all those who fought so valiantly, on the seas, in the air, and on foreign shores, to preserve our heritage of freedom, and let us reconsecrate ourselves to the task of promoting an enduring peace so that their efforts may not have been in vain." Weeks would go on to serve as president of the National Veterans Day Volunteer Organization until his death in 1985. In 1982, he received the Presidential Citizenship Medal from President Ronald Reagan, who dubbed Weeks the father of Veterans Day. Alvin King would go on to serve on the board of the American War Dads until his death in 1960, and on October 31, 2003, Emporia, Kansas was named the founding city of Veterans Day by Congress, stating, "On November 11th of each year, we pay tribute to our veterans. Americans, as in all wars, have rallied behind the men and women who went off to defend the American way of life. And as some of those soldiers returned, we embraced and thanked them for their service. And for those who did not come home, we remembered them in somber ceremonies, silent prayers, and grieving moments. On November 11th, we pay reverence to anyone that has worn the uniform. We should also recognize the shoe cobbler from Emporia, who had a vision for a national holiday, a representative who listened to his hometown, and a president who, a veteran himself, saw the completion of this idea. Today, Veterans Day is recognized and observed across the United States. Parades, memorials, and celebrations are held to recognize and remember the sacrifices made by the men and women in uniform to protect and defend freedom and democracy across the world. Thank you.
To talk to us about the Civic Auditorium history, we have Philip Merlo.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. My name is Philip Merlo. I'm the executive director of the San Joaquin County Historical Museum. And I guess I want to start by saying I grew up hearing stories of sacrifice from my grandfathers and their cousins about the sacrifices they made in World War II and the Korean War. And those really resonate with me today, just thinking about what it means to be an American. So on behalf of myself, but also the Historical Society, thank you to all of you who served. Really appreciate it. I'm here today to talk a little bit about the history of the Civic Auditorium, the Memorial Civic Auditorium. And the history of this building really starts in the aftermath of World War I, which was this incredible, horrific conflagration in Europe that took the world by storm in 1914 through 1918, that really set the tone for the rest of the 20th century. And the United States, of course, being a great nation, became deeply involved in World War I in 1917 and 1918. And as Stockton was a major city in the United States at that time, the metropolis of the Central Valley, many people from Stockton served. And in 1919, as veterans from the war started to return home, it became really apparent that the war had taken its toll on Stockton. 115 veterans from Stockton lost their lives in the war, mostly in the Battle of the Ardennes. And the mayor of Stockton in 1920, his name was A.C. Houlihan. And not a name that people remember today, because he was pretty low profile. A.C. Houlihan was the central person in the development of Midtown Stockton. So all of the neighborhood between basically where we're standing right now, or sitting right now, all the way to Harding Way. And he was the central person in developing that neighborhood. And he had been a veteran himself in wars in the 19th century. And he said, you know, the sacrifices that our veterans made in World War I, for those that came back, the ones that couldn't come back, we need to honor that. And so in 1920, he actually said, we need to build some sort of monument or civic space dedicated to their memory. And to his credit, he went ahead and brokered a deal in 1920 and 1921 to pass a bond measure for $600,000 to build a memorial auditorium in honor of America's veterans. And as with anything, it was kind of a fight to get it done. They had to acquire the land between 1920 and 1924. There was some federal legislation that was passed in 1921 that added some energy to the efforts. And in 1924, in May, after Houlihan had termed out of office, the new city manager of Stockton, his name was Charles Ashburner. He was actually the first city manager in the city. And he was a morally complicated man. He was a very interesting person historically. But one thing about him was that he had incredible moral clarity. And moral clarity is one of those values that when you find someone with moral clarity, you have to trust them. And so in May of 1924, he got the city council together. He got the building community together. The Builders Exchange had just been founded. And he said, look, we have this $600,000. We need to get this done. We want to honor our veterans. And our city deserves an auditorium like this. And so in May of 1924, they went ahead and hired, just like that, they hired Glenn Allen, an internationally renowned architect. He designed the Texas State House and the Colorado State House, who was also kind of involved in Stockton. They brought in Frank Tucker, who was a major contractor, kind of the biggest contractor in Stockton of the day. They brought in the Stockton Iron Works, Stockton's premier steel manufacturing company, just a block and a half away. If you haven't checked it out, always kind of a cool historical site. And they got going. They broke ground in the first week of November of 1924. And this is the thing about moral clarity, is that when everybody has clarity of purpose and understands what they're trying to do, and of course at this point they're trying to honor the veterans of the community, they were able to get the building built in 11 and a half months. 485 tons of steel. They brought in architectural sculptors from San Francisco, New York, and Milan to do all the beautiful, beautiful sculptures that we still have. The Fagione Company, which is an internationally renowned arts architectural firm. They brought in local contractors. All of the chairs, the original chairs, you can actually see the original chairs if you go inside the exhibit in the North Hall, which if you haven't, please go check it out. The Treadway Company custom manufactured all of the chairs for the auditorium. And they opened the auditorium on November 11th, 1925, just over a year after they started construction. And I think that's a lesson that we can all take with us in all aspects of our lives, is that when you have that clarity of purpose and that moral clarity and a true desire to get something done, you can really go fast and make a difference. And of course, for them, that moral clarity was honoring our veterans and honoring the sacrifices made. And over the course of the 20th century, this building became really the hub of Stockton for a long time. I mean, it'd be impossible for me in the 5 minutes I was allotted to talk about all of the concerts, all of the boxing matches, all of the fundraisers, all of the business deals. For a while, this is where City Hall met in the 1950s. There was a period of time where the City Hall didn't have enough seats for the number of people that wanted to attend city council meetings, and so they actually met in here because people wanted to be civically involved. It's impossible to talk about all the incredible things that happened here. You can check some of those things out, but everybody from the Grateful Dead to the Red Hot Chili Peppers, James Brown, George Bush, all kinds of folks came here. This is where Stockton's central civic discourse took place. And I think as we mark 100 years of its existence as one of those central structures in the city of Stockton, in the history of the city of Stockton, I think it's worth now, I humbly submit, thinking about how we can work on renovations to this building so that 100 years from now, our children's children's children have this space to think about their past and to dream about their future. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the City of Sacramento Pipe Band. Now it's time for our keynote speaker, George Retana, United States Marine Corps combat veteran. Sergeant Retana is a United States Marine Corps combat veteran, IED survivor, M1A1 tank crewman, and former drill instructor who has turned an advocate, researcher, scholar, and also a community leader. He served just under 7 years from 2005 to 2011, completing 2 combat deployments to Iraq in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom, where he learned the importance of resilience, brotherhood, and service. After his honorable discharge, Sergeant Retana transitioned his mission from the battlefield to the community, dedicating his life to serving others. He is the president of Veterans in Action, an organization dedicated to empowering veterans through research, outreach, and community engagement. Under his leadership, the organization has forged partnerships across California to address critical issues such as veteran mental health, homelessness, and reintegration for veterans and their families. He also works closely with veteran families, local leaders, politicians, and civilian allies to build understanding, unity, and long-term community support systems. Also, for a Marine, he's a very smart guy. He has earned a bachelor's degree in sociology with a minor in ethnic studies from the University of the Pacific, and he graduated with honors, earning induction into the Alpha Kappa Delta, the International Sociology Honor Society, and the Motor Board National Honor Society. He was also honored with the Harold S. Jacoby Citizen Leadership Award for outstanding civic leadership and scholarship. He is currently pursuing a doctor of psychology, I told you he was a smart one, in counseling and also in clinical psychology at the University of the Pacific. During his time at the University of the Pacific, George has also served as president of the Student Veteran Organization and co-founded the Veterans Alumni Club. He also created the first university-level course on the sociology of veteran culture. His independent research on veteran reintegration, mental health, and community systems has been presented at academic conferences. It is now used to train clinicians, counties, and community leaders through his multi-module veteran cultural competency curriculum. Today, George serves as an independent contractor, continuing his mission to build systems of support for veterans, veteran families, fathers, and mental health initiatives for men. His work emphasizes faith, purpose, leadership, and bridge building, encouraging others to move beyond talk and take action within their communities. George gives all glory, honor, and credit to his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who transformed his life and continues to guide his mission of service. He is the proud husband of his wife, Crystal, and the devoted father of their 4 beautiful daughters, Nivea, Ruby, Amariah, and Adeline, who inspire his passion for faith, family, and purpose every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce to you our keynote speaker, Sergeant George Retana, United States Marine Corps.
Good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you for that, Gunny. I still eat crayons on the weekends, so I'm not that smart. But if you know, you know. But good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a privilege to be here this morning and just seeing the tremendous support that you have in your community. It's really awesome and motivating to see. So I want to thank all the family, friends, dignitaries, and those that are here in support of veterans and or your veterans. But now as I direct myself to my fellow veterans, today we gather here not to celebrate war, but to celebrate courage. The kind of courage that looks like an 18 or 19-year-old young man or young woman leaving home with nothing but a uniform, a prayer, and a promise to come back. Some of us came back, some of us didn't. And for those of us who did return, many left pieces of ourselves scattered on the battlefields far from home. Memories that don't make the highlight reels, but echo in every silence of night. Today isn't just about remembrance. It's about honoring veterans, the ones who answered the call, the ones who carried the weight of freedom and continue to carry on still. When we raised our right hands, we didn't just sign the contract. We made a covenant with our nation, with each other, and with generations that have not yet even been born. We understood that freedom isn't free. It is forged through fire, through sleepless nights, through drill instructors screaming at us, through the sound of a last goodbye, and the prayer of a mother or a wife waiting at home. Freedom is tested. It is refined. It is preserved through the hearts of those willing to stand in the flames so that others do not have to. Few answer the call. From the trenches of World War I to the beaches of Normandy, to the black sands of Iwo Jima, to the frozen hills of Korea and the jungles of Vietnam, to the deserts of Iraq and the mountains of Afghanistan, veterans have fought, have bled, have sacrificed so that this nation can continue to remain free. Many have missed birthdays, Christmases, first steps, and some even final goodbyes. Veterans have stood the watch while the rest of the nation slept. And through every generation, one thing has never changed: the unbreakable bond between those who serve and the purpose that drives them to serve. Each of us carries a story that is tried by fire, a journey through fear, pain, and sacrifice, yet also a story of purpose, duty, and legacy. You see, legacy isn't built in comfort. It is built in the trenches. It is built in the dust, in the sand, in the moments where life and death hang in the balance. Out there under a foreign sun, camaraderie isn't just a friendship, it's survival. It's looking at the person next to you, your brother or your sister, to your left and your right, knowing that you'd give everything for them and that they would do the same for you. This is the kind of unity that this nation was founded on. People from every walk of life, every color, every faith, standing shoulder to shoulder, bound not by politics, but by purpose. And that spirit didn't end when we hung up the uniform. In fact, it still lives on in us, in the way we serve our communities, lead our families, and reach out to those still fighting invisible battles. Because that fire to make a difference never goes out in a veteran. We know what it means to be tried by fire. We've seen fear and courage in the same heartbeat. We've seen what it looks like to be broken, but also what it looks like to rise again. But through the fire, as I mentioned before, something powerful happens. You find your purpose. We've learned that our scars do not define our weakness. They tell the story of our strength. We learned that brotherhood and sisterhood, our faith in one another, can outshine even the darkest moments or the seriousness of all battle. When I look out and I see you fellow veterans, I don't just see those who wore the uniform. I see bridges. I see heroes. I see legacy builders. I see living examples of resiliency and what it means to rebuild. I see men and women that are continuing the mission no matter how heavy it gets. But I want to say this. This day isn't just about thanking us. It's about reminding ourselves of the responsibility that we carry as veterans. We can't let thank you for your service be where the conversation ends. If we really mean it, we will live differently because of what we've endured and what we've overcome. We honor those who we've lost by being better fathers, being better community leaders, being better mothers, better neighbors. We honor them and honor their legacy by building communities where no veteran is forgotten and no battle is fought alone. Because freedom without gratitude is hollow. Legacy without action fades. So my encouragement to those that are our civilian allies and our veterans is let's prove that their sacrifice, our sacrifice, was not in vain. Because I will leave you with this thought. On every gravestone, there are two dates: the day you were born and the day we will pass away. But what truly matters is that dash in between those dates. It's that little line that holds an entire life. The courage, the commitment, the honor, the laughter, the pain, the purpose, the sacrifice of each and every one of you veterans. You see, we've been given the gift of another day to make that dash mean something. And I'm proud to say that, veterans, your dash means something. You've seen what unity looks like under pressure. You've seen purpose is born out of struggle. You've lived it. And you understand, my fellow veterans, that freedom is not inherited. It is earned. It is fought for, one generation at a time. So today, let's live in a way that honors the dash of those that came before us, the dash of those that are here right now, and the ones who didn't make it home, and the dash of those that will come in the future. Veterans, I appreciate you and I honor you for your service. We don't just fight our battles abroad, but we've been fighting our battles here for compassion, unity, and dignity, and above all else, hope for every veteran and their family. So let's remember that the flag doesn't just wave because of the wind. It waves because of the breath every man and woman who ever stood to defend it and took an oath to serve this country did. That's the reason why the flag waves. So my encouragement to you is keep pushing forward. I honor you and I thank you for your service. God bless our veterans, God bless our family, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Ladies and gentlemen, what follows is the Armed Forces Medley performed by the Stockton Portsmen Chorus. When you hear your service song or the Marines hymn for the Marines, please stand up, be recognized, and let it hear it.
From the rising of the sun till the battle's fought and won, we will fight for the right and defend our country. We're always ready for the call. We place our trust in thee, through surf and storm and howling gale. High shall our purpose be. Semper Paratus is our guide, our pledge, our motto too. We're always ready, do or die. Our Coast Guard, we fight for you. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marine. Anchors away. Farewell to pilot trophies, sail at break of day. Through our land forces of America. They serve America at home or overseas. They serve America.
Thank you so much, Stockton Portsmouth Chorus. Can all veterans, please stand and be recognized? All veterans. Happy Veterans Day. Please be seated. If you are related to a veteran or married to one, which is the same thing in my book, can you please stand and be recognized as well? Thank you for your support. Thank you. Do we have any Gold Star family today? Any Gold Star parents, family? Thank you. All right, so we would like to thank all of the United Veterans Council, San Joaquin County members who work diligently on this program. Can all of the UVC reps that helped out stand and be recognized? Jerome? Everybody else? We got a few people cooking in the back right now. I know Linda is there somewhere. Thank you for helping. So the City of Stockton worked out diligently, mainly with Linda. So we would like to thank Sherry, Alisa, Jose, and Madonna, and everybody else that assisted with setting this up. If they're here, can you please stand and be recognized? City staff. Over there. Thank you. The United Way of San Joaquin County, they're our financial sponsor. Thank you so much. Now, you saw the awesome young girls that were helping in the front. They're the Girl Scouts, Heart of California. Can you please recognize them with a big applause? I think they're still in the front right now. Girl Scouts. We would also like to thank the Stockton Fire Department, not only for their service, but they also are letting us use the big barbecue in the back. So thank you for being here. Stockton Police Department to my left, thank you for being here as well. The Stockton Portsmouth. The City of Sacramento Pipe Band, who already left. And lastly, the speakers that we had today, Amy, Philip, and George, and also our chaplain, Art, and Jerome. Thank you. I would like to invite the City of Stockton Mayor, Cristina Fugazi, to the stage, who is going to talk to us for a couple of minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for being here today. Philip Merlot did an excellent job of giving you the history of this historic building. Thinking about 100 years ago, this being erected, it wasn't just about a building. I believe it was about a promise to the people of Stockton, a promise that there would be a place for that generation and future generations to gather. And gather they have. I remember coming here for graduation for my brother. My uncles talked about boxing matches and as well as basketball games that were here. I don't know how many people have been to a crab feed here. I mean, this building has been used, and it probably has seen better days, as Philip pointed out. We are currently, I just want to share with you, City of Stockton currently is doing an assessment of all the needs of this building, and as you know, there are several. We hope that we are able to, inch by inch, block by block, brick by brick, be able to bring it back to its glory. But it will not happen overnight. It will not happen within a year like it took to build this. But again, this is a place for everyone in our community to use and enjoy, to create memories, to have celebrations, to learn, actually even find a job. They do job fairs here, resource fairs here as well. But knowing that if you go to the front of this building, you can look along the top. And what will you find? You will find the different branches of the military, of the people that live here in Stockton who have served bravely, courageously, and will continue to serve this country. So with that, I am looking forward to us. We're going to be cutting a ribbon here, but again, 100 years. We've celebrated and lived in this building for 100 years, and hopefully we can continue to do that for the next 100 years. Thank you.
Can all the state, county, and city dignitaries please come to the front? That's for another 100 years. Thank you for being here. Happy Veterans Day as well, and we will see you soon. Thank you.